Hello and welcome to the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me, Jon Watts, at Drayton Park Golf Club. I'm out on the fifth hole now, just short of the green, and I wanted to do a video on chipping and take advantage of the fact that we're middle of December and it's just been an absolutely stunning day, as you can see, with blue sky. So I thought I'd come outside and take advantage of the last little bit of daylight and try and do a short game video. And I wanted to do this one on the rate of closure when you are chipping. And I find too many golfers, really when they're round the green, are choosing a particular club, a favourite club. And what the problem I've got with that is really the swing length is having to change, the amount of rotation is having to change. As the swing length gets longer when we're chipping, the club face is actually getting more open, and we're having to get that club face open to closed. What we really want to use on a simple chip and run is natural forces as much as possible. So the natural forces that we can use here, one is gravity, so the gravity just trying to pull the club down to earth, and we can also use centrifugal force, so when the club's moving back, it wants to be swinging through. We don't want to get much rotation, we really want to try and take out our wrists, and if we can stop that club face opening and closing as much, it's much easier to control the strike and the direction. Now we need this opening and closing when we're trying to create more distance. On a shot like this, I only really want to be landing this. I've got around 20 yards to the pin, but I only really want to be landing this about 3 or 4 yards. So it's about a yard or so onto the green, and I'm going to try and get that ball running and rolling. So I'm definitely going to be using a lower lofted club. I'll put a link to a video I've done on chipping talking about club selection. So please check that out, talking about the air and roll percentages. If this is an issue of yours, that video will really help to tell you, or so you can start to work out what club would be the correct choice from each location. But what I want to touch on today, as I said, is trying to stop this club face opening and closing as much, so we can actually create more of or use our natural forces, allowing that club just to naturally accelerate. What I want you to do is find a wedge. I've got a 58 degree here. Find a position on a wedge that you're comfortable gripping it when you're chipping. So for me, in my setup for a bump and run, a chip and run, I'm gripping, and I guess I am there around ½ an inch down the handle of my 58 degree. So if I then pulled in a 9-iron instead, a lower lofted club, to get that ball to roll a little bit further, what I would be doing is actually finding the location I want to be holding it with my 58 degree, putting my 9-iron alongside of it. You can actually see there, that's the top of my lead hand. If I move that over to the 9-iron, I'm now an inch or so down the handle, okay, or an inch and a half down the handle. So I'm going to be gripping it lower the longer the club. If I did the same thing with a 7-iron, so find out the position I'm comfortable, I'll do it this way, sorry again, with my wedge, which was about ½ an inch down the handle. If I put my 7-iron alongside of it and try and get the shaft angle the same, I'm actually going to be gripping down the 7-iron by a good couple of inches. So my trail hand, my right thumb, my index finger are almost on the steel of the shaft. So the longer the club, the lower we're going to be gripping it down. That means we're getting a consistent length of golf club. The variance is the loft itself. You're trying to maintain the same shaft angle and the same length of golf club. And we do want to try and get that club pretty upright, the same angle as a putter. So most putters have got a lie angle of about 70, 71 degrees. Our irons vary, but they're more in the 60s. So we're trying to move that club more upright, more like a putter. And the longer the club, the lower we're gripping it down the handle. And that again just means we're getting very little closure of the club face. We're using those natural forces. Let's just go ahead and hit 1 or 2 where I'm landing at about a yard on the green and just trying to get that ball to roll and release to the flag. I'm going to have to aim out to the right because this is quite a slopey green. That was really good. So rather than trying to fly that any further, it's come up short. I landed it where I wanted it, but the greens are a little slower this time of night. It's in December as well, and I'm going a little uphill. So rather than trying to fly it any further, I'm just going to change the club. So I'm just going to change to a 6-iron instead, so something with a little less loft, and try and play the same shot. So again, moving that club more upright like a putter. That means I stand closer to it. That creates more of these natural forces, so a lot less rotation. I'm gripping lower down the handle, so I'll be right at the bottom with this 6-iron to try and recreate my wedge length. Let's try the same one again. One more, landed that just a touch too short. Right idea, just a little bit on the short side. See if I can avoid those two. Let's have one more. There we go. That felt a little bit better. Run on. Just past the others. I'm coming up a fraction short there. I need to land it just a little further, or again, change my club selection again. You've got 14 clubs or up to 14 clubs in the bag. Use them. Be a bit more experimental around the green. I know it will help your short game. Please post some comments and questions below. I'd love to get around to answering those. Do check out our other videos coming every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 5:30, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for free. Thanks guys.